José Rizal. On June 19, 1861, when José Portasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda was born in the town of Calamba in the province of Laguna. He was the seventh child among the 11 children of Francisco Mercado Rizal and Teodora Alonso y Cuentos, a family of Chinese-Filipino ancestry. But later, their family changed their surname to Mercado to hide their family origin due to the sentiments against the Chinese at that time. José Rizal's family was living in a rented property that was owned by a priest from Dominica that made them become a family of wealthy farmers. When José Rizal was young, his parents discovered that he had good intellectual skills and was also a talented boy. That's why, at the age of 3 years old, he already knew the alphabets, in which his mother became his first teacher. And at the age of 5, he already knew how to read and write. And during his high school years, he graduated with the highest honors at the age of 16 at the Ateneo Municipal de Manila. After high school, he then pursued his training of land surveying and completed his training in the year 1877. In the following year, he passed the exam in order to get his license in the field, but unfortunately, because he was only 17 at that time, he was unable to receive a license due to underage. And for that circumstance, it made José Rizal decide to take a class and become a medical student at the University of Santo Tomas. However, because of alleging discrimination of Dominican professors against Filipino students, he later decided to quit the school. And then, in May 1882, without his parents knowing, Rizal went to Madrid. Upon his arrival, he enrolled at the University Central de Madrid as a medical student. Later, in June 1884, he received his medical degree at the age of 23. And the following year, José Rizal graduated from the Philosophy and Letters Department. But then again, his journey of being a student still has not yet ended. So after he graduated to the Philosophy and Letters Department, he also took the field of ophthalmology. This is because he was inspired by his mother's progressive blindness. So he studied at the University of Paris and then to the University of Heidelberg to further his knowledge in ophthalmology. And in the year 1887, José Rizal finally finished his second doctorate at Heidelberg. Then later, José Rizal decided to move to Europe, where he remained there for 10 years. While he was in Europe, he wrote his first novel entitled Noli Me Tangere, Touch Me Not, The Social Cancer, a work which emphasized the dark aspects of Spain's colonial rule in the Philippines that particularly focuses more on the role of Catholic friars. However, because of its content, it was banned in the Philippines. Though there were some copies of Noli Me Tangere that was smuggled in. And because of this novel, José Rizal decided to return to the Philippines during the year 1887. But his stay in the Philippines did not last long when he was targeted by the police due to his novel that offended Catholic Church officials and members despite his apologies. So he returned to Europe and continued to write, in which he released his second novel, El Filibusterismo, The Reign of Greed, in 1891. He also published an article in La Solidaridad, a paper aligned with the propaganda movement towards achieving assimilations with Spain. Eventually, in the year 1892, José Rizal decided to go back to the Philippines even though he was exiled due to his writings that called for reform in Spain. But José Rizal did not let his fear overwhelm him because he knew his country needed him more to achieve the change at the hands of Spain. So he founded the La Liga Filipina in Manila, a non-violent reform society that originated from La Solidaridad and the propaganda movement. And later on, Rizal was exiled to Dapitan on the island of Mindanao. For almost 4 years, José Rizal was still in exile, and at that time, he met a girl named Josephine Bracken, in which he fell in love with her. Then later on, they decided to get married, as they requested a license to marry. And fortunately, because of the trouble he had with the church, the request was rejected. And during the year 1896, the nationalist secret society was established called the Katipunan that revolted against Spain. At that time, even though José Rizal had no contact with the group and did not approve of its violent methods, he was arrested shortly after. He then went to trial and was convicted of sedition and sentenced to death by firing squad. So on December 30, 1896, at the age of 35 years old, a heartbreaking and tragic event happened.
I'm an icon, and my girl about a 10. I should fuck her